Yes, students, we are going to see about the control statements which are there in Java. So when we'll be seeing with the control statements, there are three types of control statements. That is conditional control statement, looping control statement, as well as unconditional control statement. So in the case where we'll be having the conditional control statement, we'll be having three types. It is of three types. Conditional control statement is of three types. So the first one is the if statement, second is if else statement, and third one is a if else if statement. So in the case where we'll be having the looping statements, we'll be having the for loop statement, while loop, as well as do while loop. That are all the two things we are going to study in detail about in this lab. So first we can see about the conditional control statement. The first one is the if statement. So in the case where we will be having the if statement, it will be checking whether the condition is true. If the condition is true, it will be going inside the block, or else it won't be executing the block itself. Okay, so the syntax is if condition, and inside which we need to give what are all the statements which we need to give for the if block. Okay, and this is the flowchart which we can see, where we'll be normally for decision making, we'll be having this diamond symbol box, right? So here too, we'll be making a decision, either it is true or else it is false. So we have made that inside the Boolean expression, where we'll be having true and false in both the as two options which are there. So when it is true alone, it will be executing the if block. If not, it will be directly stopping the thing. And the second one is the if else statement. So in the case where we'll be having the if else statement, it will be checking whether the condition is true. If it is so, it will be executing the if block. If not, it will be using the or else executing the else block which is there. So for which the syntax which is there is if condition, we will be having the statement of if block, else we will be having the statement of else block. And for which the flowcharts are, that is the representation, flowchart representation is Boolean expression. In the left hand side, we'll be having the true. So if it is true, it will be executing the if block. If not, if it is false, it will be executing the else block, and it will be stopping over there. And the third one is the if else if statement. So in the case where we will be having the if else if statement, it will be checking again and again whether any else if condition is there. If it is met, it will be moving to that. If not, it will be moving towards the else statement. So for which the syntax is if condition, statement of if block, else if statement, else if block. Likewise, it will be moving on. Then finally, it will be going to, if both the condition is not met, then it will be moving on to the else block, and it will be having the statement over there. And this is the flowchart representation, that is having the condition, that is in the condition. In the condition, we'll be having the true as well as false. If it is true, as so in the previous, it will be going to block 1. If not, going to block 2. And if both the condition not met, it will be going to the else part. And the next is, for example, we can see a program, okay, regarding this conditional control statement. That is, first is class, okay. So in the class, we'll be giving class name, after which we'll be having the public static void main of. So we'll be giving this, in which public is the identifier, access specifier, which we'll be having. Okay, the access specifier is the one, or else we'll be calling it as the modifier, which will be that is recognizing the thing, that is what are all the how we'll be accessing. All such information will be given for the method as well as classes, or else the objects which is there. And the next is static. We will be having the return type as void. So it won't be returning anything. And then we will be having the method. Normally, as a basic, we will be having main as our method. Then we will be having string arguments of in which we will be passing the inputs which are there. Okay, arguments which are there. And here in the third line, we will be declaring, that is int a equal to 2, b equal to 3, like this we will be giving to all. And afterwards, we will be checking whether a is greater than b. If a is greater than b, it need to display the output. So when we need to display the output, for which in Java we will be giving system.out.print or else println. What is the difference between print as well as println is, if we are giving it as print, it will be printing in the same line. If not, that is when we will be giving it as println, that is println, then it will be displaying the output in that line, and the cursor will be moved to the next lines. Okay, so that's how it will be done. And here it is a, that is value of a is 2 and b is 3. It is not greater, so the condition is not met, so it will be moving to the else if part. In that, we will be checking a is greater than c. Okay, so here when we will be checking 2 is not greater than 4, right? So here also the condition is not met. Now it will be jumping towards the else part which is there. So in the case of else part, we will be having system.out.print IntelliPath. So the IntelliPath will be displayed as our output. So that is how we need to do for all the condition which is there. And the next is the looping control statement. In the case where we will be having for loop, we will be checking when we will be knowing what is the starting position as well as what is the ending position and what might be the condition which we will be using, then we can go with the for loop statement. Okay, so it will be executing until the condition which we have given as false. Okay, so that many iterations it will be following, so for which we will be having certain syntax which is here. So that is for initialization is the first thing, then condition, and next is increment or else the decrement, inside which we will be giving what are all the statements for the for body which is there. So first of all, we will be giving the initialization. So we need to check where it need to get started. So that we will be giving it as the initialization. Then we will be giving the condition. Then we need to check whether the count need to get incremented or else decremented. So based on which we will be giving I minus minus or I plus plus. And for example, we can see here for looping using for loop, that is class, we'll be having class name, right? Example, then public static void string of, then we'll be having integer, we'll be declaring integer a equal to 1. Now afterwards, we'll be giving the for loop. So in the for loop, we'll be having here we have initialize. The first thing is the initialization part, right? So int I equal to 0 is the initialization we will be providing. Afterwards, we need to check the condition. What is the condition? I less than 2. Okay, that is the condition which we will be doing. Then we will be incrementing I plus plus. Now the system, that is we need to print here, right? So the print option is system.out.println. So next line it will be getting printed. Now value of a is plus a. Now it will be that is a plus plus is the thing which is given here. So every time the input need to get incremented, value will be increasing by 1. So a equal to a plus plus, now it is a equal to a plus 1. So now the value what is given here as the println, that is value of a is what is the plus a option. So at first the plus a will be uh, that is 1 is the one which is given, so initialization is 0, so 0 plus 1 will be 1. And again, when we will be checking here, the value of thing is not 1, it is 2. Okay, 2 need to be printed. Okay, because the condition is I less than 2. So At first it will be taking 0, second time it will be taking 1, so 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Okay, so that is how it will be done. And the next is while loop. So in the case where while loop is there, it is a precondition thing. Okay, so what it will be checking? At first it will be checking the condition. Okay, if the condition becomes true, it will be executing. If not, it will be terminating there itself. So the syntax is while of condition. What is the statement which is there? Now we need to have the program for while loop. So class IntelliPath is the class name which I have given. Then we need to have the public static void main of function. Then afterwards we'll be having the declaring int I equal to 2. So now while condition, while I less than or equal to 2, what need to be printed? Println IntelliPath. So at first it will be checking the condition. The condition is I less than or equal to 2. It is satisfying, so it will be printing this. And it is I plus plus. Again, when we will be checking, the condition got false, so thereby itself it will be winding up. So the next is do while loop. So in the case where the previous case it is precondition, so here it is post condition. Okay, so at least